Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for December of 2022. We're going to just jump right in here, Taurus, and we are going to take a look at your current general energies in this first row right here. You have this Mischief card. You're not the only person to have this Mischief card as well. And you do have the Tower. It was in reverse, but I don't read reversals, and I dropped this deck yesterday, so that's why it was in reverse in the first place. But it is interesting. To me, I feel that if you're thinking about leaving a situation because you don't trust it, and this could be any situation this could be a living situation because you have the Tower, which could involve your home. It could be a love situation or even a work situation. I really feel that this first row is kind of saying, in general, you need to trust, and this is why, right here. I feel like the universe is trying to prepare you to be lifted up. So I feel like you need to make sure that your environment is under control. And, this could be, a relationship that you're leaving. It could be a business, a job, anything. It's going to be different for all of you. You're all in different, kind of situations. But again, I feel what you are avoiding is, probably, I don't think you're really avoiding a Tower moment. I feel that you are avoiding just toxic energy in general. And also, I feel like you're being lifted up. I also feel that if any of you have experienced any health concerns or health issues, that there could be a healing that is going on here as well. Again, I am not a doctor, so obviously do not take this as medical advice, but there could be some sort of healing here. And, I feel like that'll be good as well. But, I really feel like this card is saying that you really need to pay attention to some sort of warning sign that's going on in your life here. It's kind of interesting because I don't think this has to be a bad thing. I feel, and again, really, I feel like something has maybe already happened. So you already probably know what this is, but it reminds me of years ago. I was actually going on this walk and I saw a weasel. I heard these birds freaking out and I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I look up in this tree and there's this freaking weasel just like this right here, like a little weasel thing. In the tree, and it was clearly going for a nest or something like that. And basically a day later, I had something happen in my life and so I kind of have since then, not that I see weasels very often, but I've always kind of taken them as a little bit of a warning sign. But I think that there's more going on here as well, is that it could be a warning sign, but I was also able to transform that situation that happened to me after I saw the weasel, right? I was able to kind of look more on the bright side. It was one of those situations. I'm not going to go into details, but, I kind of was able to turn it around, almost like the Temperance card, and much, much more for the better, right? And I kind of see that for you here. You have the Seven of Pentacles, which would be a change in direction. So kind of like a turnaround right here. And then you have the Tower and the Nine of Cups. Again, the Tower, for some of you, I'm getting move or travel. Again, Taurus, I've said it for 3 years now. With Uranus and Taurus, it would not surprise me if a lot of you were either moving around a lot, or if you were traveling a lot, or if you just decided that you wanted to be free. Wouldn't surprise me if some of you Taurus people up and, bought an RV and just lived out of an RV for the next 20 years or longer. Just wouldn't surprise me because of Uranus and Taurus. And also, I think the Tower's probably you surprising other people in your life as well. It's Uranus is the rebel, rebellion, things like that. So having Uranus in your own sign, you could be surprising just people in your life. I think a lot of people are doing this right now, but, again, it's in your sign. So I think that the energy is a little bit more intense for you as far as that is concerned. But this is what you're trying to find right here is true fulfillment. I kind of feel with that Poise card, which is my favorite card in that deck, one of. I have 3 favorite cards in that deck, but, I feel like you are ready to find your place in the world. It's you're ready to create your own fulfillment. There's a very strong decoupling here as well. And what I mean, it's you are separating away from something, but it's not I feel for a lot of you, it's much deeper than just a relationship that you are separating away from. And what I mean by that is it's sometimes I think there's probably a collection of ideas that hold us back in life. Maybe we were raised to believe certain things, right? This is Neptune and Pisces, by the way. Neptune and Pisces is probably triggering the crap out of you. It's triggering the crap out of all of us, I think, but most of us don't realize it. It's, triggering us to look at those beliefs that, maybe our parents gave us because their parents' parents' parents gave them those beliefs. So a lot of us are kind of looking at those ancestral beliefs, the things that we always believe just because, and we're just challenging those beliefs so that we can find our own place in the world, so that we can be, like truly independent for ourselves and think for ourselves and all that other stuff. So I feel a lot of you are doing that. And by kind of like separating yourself away from these things, I feel like you're becoming very successful, clearly. Here you have the Seven of Pentacles. So again, clearly some sort of change in direction going on in your life. I see like I see an increase in your finances here, and it looks really good. I just think that like it seems like a little bit of a mental challenge, which is weird how it's popping to my head. Like if you're working on any new business or work ideas, I do see these challenges, but they're not like bad challenges. These are kind of like learning challenges is what I'm getting here. Let's see. With the Seven of Pentacles, I couldn't even get a card there. I wish I had a camera on this because it literally would not let me clarify this. But with the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Wands. And, Nine of Wands is a card of experimentation. I'm wondering if you need to experiment more or, put yourself in situations where you could be experiencing some pain. And we're not talking about literally experiencing pain. We're talking about figuratively, facing challenges so that you can overcome obstacles. And, that's what I feel is going on here is that, there could be some opportunities for you to stretch where maybe you're putting yourself in a situation where it's a little bit going to require a little bit of stretching, right? With the Tower, you have the Hierophant. You're going to overcome these Tower moments very easily. I think these Tower moments are, again, separating away from these beliefs. Like when we separate away from these ancestral beliefs, the things we've always just believed, because, it could be a little bit scary. It can be a little bit, it could be a little bit nerve-wracking because maybe they've always been like a security blanket for us, these beliefs, Look at people who are in cults, right? It's like, it's very similar. The energy is very similar to that. And I'm not saying they were raised by a cult here, Taurus, but what I am saying is that, it's like, it's kind of like a similar idea. They have certain beliefs where, if you've ever seen anything about a cult, it's like those people literally believe whatever they're told, right? And so, I kind of feel like some of you are doing that. I feel you're in a very strong position, though. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Are you kidding me? Like, literally, all I talked about in the beginning there was some sort of turnaround. And the Wheel of Fortune is a turnaround, of course. Next, in the area of what you need to hear right now, you have this last quarter moon in Libra. It says, make time for self-love. I would say this is true for everyone because of Mars retrograde. Mars retrograde really wants us to love ourselves, really wants us to take time for ourselves, heal ourselves, do all that stuff. So I would make sure to do that. I would make sure to tap into your truth as well, just in general. I've been encouraging everyone to do this because, I think that if you're doing things that are not part of your truth, you're going to have a hard time. So it's like, if you're like trying to, I think right now people might think they have to do certain things for their family, for example, or for a person in their life. But if it's not your truth, you're probably going to experience a lot of resistance. So I would be careful of doing things that you really, really don't want to do. And we all have things that we have to do that we don't want to do. So, again, I think in those situations, then it's like, how can you make it something you want to do? Like if there's something that you feel is an obligation that's coming up for you right now, maybe you have a certain obligation that you don't want to do, but you kind of have to, then I would say, like, how can you turn it into a situation that is something you want to do? Remember, we were talking about temperance. Temperance is about alchemy, and I would say, how can you turn it around? Plain and simple. I think there's a lot of abundance in doing that. You have the Empress, the Five of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles here, Taurus. So I feel you could be creating a lot of abundance by taking situations that aren't ideal and turning them into ideal situations. How can you inject more of your truth into the situations that you're getting involved in? And again, there are going to be some things that you could be avoiding as well. And I would definitely recommend it with this energy, like, anything you can avoid by all means. But if you can't, turn it around. But a lot of abundance coming in for you here. It's weird. I get a strange mental energy on this Five of Pentacles. It kind of makes sense to me because Five of Pentacles to me is a card of needing to make sure you don't call attention to your weaknesses. So it basically says focus on your strengths. Like, what is the opposite of your weakness? It is your strength. So I wouldn't even bother focusing on things that you're not good at. I would be trying to focus on the things that you are good at in life. But I do feel there's like a little bit of a stretch here. And I always say, like, I'm pretty sure in your last reading I said something about how you're here. It's like you want to be up here. And I feel there's this big leap that you're making. And you have this poise card showing up here as well. And that poise card, again, really says that you're kind of like lifting up, you're ascending, or you're kind of being ascended or something. But I feel like there is a gap. And the gap is maybe like a little bit of a knowledge gap, but I also feel it's a feeling gap as well, for you feeling like you're actually in that position. And you might have to do a little bit of brainwashing, but you're brainwashing yourself into a better position here, Taurus. You have the Six of Pentacles. Great time to experiment and try new things. I see you kind of making big leaps forward here with the Six of Pentacles as well, but you're going to have to experiment. I feel like in business, for example, you could all of a sudden be making these big leaps, but it's kind of maybe a little bit slow right now. Like maybe it's like one big leap, then, kind of things stay the same for a little bit of time, then like another big leap. Reminds me of rabbit energy, which is funny because weasels chase rabbits. And, I kind of get that energy here with the Six of Pentacles for sure. I just want to clarify through here before I say anything else, Taurus. With the Empress, you have the Page of Wands. For some of you, this could be love coming in for you, by the way. I do feel like someone finds you very attractive. Right next to the Empress, you have the King of Wands. So there could be a fire sign that is very attracted to you at this time. Could also be an Aquarius or someone with Aquarius in their chart standing out to me, or Capricorn as well. Both of those signs kind of stand out to me. And again, it could just be a person who has those planets heavy in their chart. So take it how it resonates, or planets, those signs is what I meant to say. But, so I feel like someone finds you attractive, but I also feel there's like a new adventure that you are going on. I would definitely be careful of getting pregnant at this point in the reading. So if you don't want to get pregnant, it seems to be like a little bit of a fertile energy at the end of the year here. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Are you kidding? This is what you need to focus on right here. Ten of Pentacles is about focusing on what you truly want and desire in your life. And Ten of Pentacles is a tree of life. It's like everything you want in your life. I think that it's interesting that, the tree of life sends its roots out and it touches everything that you want in your life, or it touches everything that you're connected to in your life, right? And look at this. The card that it's clarifying, the Five of Pentacles, it's almost as if her hair is turning it, well, it kind of looks like twigs to me, but, it's almost as if they're turning into roots, but they haven't quite reached the soil yet. So for some of you, I'm getting something about like the things that you're doing now are going to be touching a lot of people. Like I feel, especially for those of you that are working on projects or businesses, it's like I feel that you're going to have like a major impact in the future. This is an intense reading. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Swords. Everybody has had multiple aces. You only have one so far. That could change in a minute. But it is interesting. This happened to me like 3 months ago, I think, or it might have been longer. I don't know. I can't do math. It was like in May, I think. I think I was traveling at the time. So if you remember those videos, I was getting all these aces. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? But it kind of fits in with the astrology that now at the end of the year, we could be getting a lot of this like new beginning energy, or, we could be getting a lot more like new opportunities and things like that. So I definitely feel that for you. I feel there are a lot of light bulbs going off in your head as well. Something's happening that's like, it's like, I don't really know what I want to say right now, Taurus. I just say when I don't know, right? Because I don't care. And when I say I don't really know what I want to say, but I feel that there could be an opportunity. Like, if you have any opportunity to spend time with family, to go on a family reunion, to spend time with people you care about, could just be close friends as well. It's almost like there's a leveling up happening because you're like learning from people in your life, or something's happening here. So for those of you that have that opportunity, I would take advantage of the opportunity. Let's put it that way. Next, we're doing something new. I'm going to look at the signs that you should be paying attention to at this time for anything in your life. You have this Poise card, and so I feel that you're going in the right direction at this point. I feel a lot of good stuff here. I feel like you're being lifted up. I feel like you're kind of really being positioned for success as well. I don't really see this as a sign. But I do feel there could be signs coming from this card, kind of like I said with the rabbit. I feel there could be these leaps forward where you make a sudden leap forward where it's like something is working out much better than it normally would. Like, let's say you're dating. Maybe you meet a person. Maybe just the first date is just slightly better than anything you've experienced in the past. I feel you should take that as a clue. Same thing in business. Maybe you try a new technique or a new advertisement or something like that. And I feel like things are just slightly better. Maybe not amazingly so. But again, I would be paying attention to results right now is what this card is saying to me, because it's saying, I really feel this temperance energy in your reading. Even though you don't have the temperance card, doesn't matter. You do have the Magician, which is kind of similar. And what I would say is I feel this energy that says, like, pay attention to those things that are, like, slightly better, because then if you temperance that, if you work with the energy, if you make the changes, you're going to be very successful. So you have the King of Wands, the Magician, and the Two of Wands here. Again, you're really stepping into this, like, very creative space is what I would say. But, it's almost like I feel this is like a muscle that needs to be. I'm not saying that you're not creative, but what I am saying is I feel that in work and business, there are opportunities for you to kind of almost learn like a new creative skill. And it's like a muscle. So that's why I feel like you need to pay attention to those little tiny improvements that you're making right now, because I feel like they're trying to get you to go in that direction. Without knowing your situation, I have no clue. I don't know what I'm talking about, but, there you go. Figure it out. The other thing I would say is definitely there could be a fire sign coming in for you. If you're looking for love, I feel like you need to pay attention to enthusiasm. I kind of get this like energy of like, this is going to sound weird, but I feel like you could hit this person with a truck and they'd get right back up. So, I feel for some of you, you're attracting like a person who just doesn't quit, a person who's never given up. I feel like that's what will stand out to you the most about this person. Could be a Capricorn, because again, you do have Capricorn energy here with the World card. You have the Knight of Pentacles as well. So, it kind of gives me that type of vibe, but you could be attracting a Capricorn with fire in their chart. Could be a fire sign with a bunch of Capricorn in their chart as well. But I definitely get that. Like, never, I think the sign you should pay attention to is that this person's like unstoppable. You have the Magician next. And I feel for a lot of you that a sign or symbol that you should pay attention to at this time is that anything you're entering into, I think you have a lot of ideas that are flowing to you. So let's put it that way. Like, if you're wondering which business do I work on, or which project or which relationship do I work on? I think when you think about the right idea or the right person or the right direction, that a lot of ideas start flooding in. I literally feel that's a sign or a symbol, like ideas about the future with a person, or ideas about the future of a business, or different ways you could approach it, right? It's like it's much more creative, right? Let's put it that way, especially with that King of Wands. And I think when you really tap in and you really pay attention, that's what's going to stand out to you the most about the right decision. And for whatever reason, I feel like this Magician is talking about decisions or choices that you are making at this time. And I feel you need to pay attention to that for sure. Like the kind of like the ideas that are popping in. The other thing I would pay attention to is joy. Normally the Magician has flowers in front of him on the traditional card, and it kind of represents joy and happiness. I feel like that's what you need to pay attention to. Next, you have the Two of Wands here. The other thing I think you need to pay attention to is boredom. If you're feeling bored, then I feel it's kind of like encouraging you to get creative and move in a new direction in your life, especially with that Two of Wands. But also, right next to it, you have the Knight of Pentacles. This really says to me that there's new opportunities for you to do new stuff, but you just have to get moving. With the King of Wands here, you have the Magician. I knew those two were connected. I basically said that, so there you go. I literally feel for some of you, by the way, that you've been asking for something to show up in your life. So here's the problem with asking for something, is that sometimes we get it, and then we're like, no, it can't be this easy, but it actually is. And I kind of get that feeling for you, and especially if it's a person. If you've been asking for a certain type of person to enter into your life, don't second guess it, especially if there's evidence, right, with that Magician card. With the Magician, you have the Queen of Swords. Again, things are very clear. I think the more receptive you are, the better at this time, especially as far as your career or business or whatever it is you work on. Even if you're retired, that doesn't mean you're not like working around the house or doing other things, right? You could be working on creative projects. I'd be paying attention to your kind of receptive energy, what you like receive or how you feel about certain things. With the Two of Wands, you have the Eight of Wands. See, part of me does think that during Mars retrograde, I've said this to basically everyone, but things that work are just going to kind of have a certain flow to them. Things that aren't meant to work are just going to be really hard to get moving forward. So with the Eight of Wands and the Two of Wands, I'd be paying attention to what works and what doesn't work in all areas of your life, and I would just keep doing what works, plain and simple. Next, at the end here for, what are we doing? Oh, the unexpected. You have this bad health card. I wouldn't worry about this because you have the star card showing up here, which tells me that if you have had any issues, that you're probably going to be healing from them very quickly. Yeah, you have this poverty card as well. So some of you could be worried about your financial health. But again, this row looks amazing. So I feel like what's unexpected is that you are going to be healing whatever this situation is, whether it's health or otherwise. You have the World, the Star card, and the Knight of Pentacles. The Star is like a wish or wish fulfillment. It's also a card of healing. So like I said, if you are having any issues, again, I am not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. But what I would say is that I feel there could be a healing going on here. And again, it could be through the help of a doctor as well. You have the Queen of Swords, so maybe you're finding a new doctor or something along those lines. It's definitely popping into my head. So there you go. People always ask me why I don't get more detailed on health, and it's illegal for tarot readers to give like legitimate health advice. So that's why people are always like, why don't you talk more about this? I can't. So there you go. Listen to your doctor. Don't listen to me. I'm just some guy on the internet. There's your warning to the YouTube police. But what I would say here is that I feel there could be healing going on here, maybe through the help of someone else. For others, I feel like you need a star. I feel like everybody needs a star right now. A star is just something that you focus on. It's like your North Star, the thing that you use as your guiding light, right? And so if you don't have a North Star, it might be a good time to kind of like come up with one. And the other thing I think people don't realize is that your North Star can change. You know, it's like my North Star personally is helping people make their dent in the universe. So everything I do, all my YouTube channels, this channel, it's all just, I put information out that my intention is to help people make their own dent because of all this star energy that we're entering into. But, yours could be whatever you want. But I feel like you need to come up with something. Like, I feel that coming up with like a, not a motto, but, I don't know what I'm looking for, but a personal mission, right? I feel like coming up with something like that, and it could be very simple to start. Again, mine evolved over time. So, it doesn't have to be something, this like big, huge thing. It can just be like a little thing right now, and then it can grow from there. You have the World card. You will accomplish things very quickly. I think it's interesting that you start with the Tower, and you end with the Star. I mean, literally in the tarot, we go from the Tower to the Star in the major arcana, and the Star represents healing. So I feel that you could be going through healing. I also feel like you could be completing a journey with the World card. I also feel that you're kind of like in a new world. It's kind of funny because like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, I did an interview with a Leo King, and we were talking, I think he puts it best. He was saying that it's almost like everybody is kind of like in this movie theater waiting to go in to see a movie. And it's like the movie's playing, we just have to go into the theater, but it's like everybody's waiting. And I think what are we waiting for? I have no clue. Trust me, if I could figure it out, I think maybe we could get things moving forward here. But I think we're all waiting for like permission, to start our next project, to start our business, to do whatever. But I think the permission comes from us. It's not going to come from someone else. So give yourself permission here, Taurus, to be successful in life. Look, are you kidding me? With the World, you have the Empress. Are you kidding? The Empress twice? Are you kidding? The Empress twice is freaking amazing in a reading. So definitely a lot of abundance coming in for you. I feel like you're feeling on top of the world as well. With the Star, you have the Ten of Swords. So again, not a doctor, but I would definitely pay attention to your health here. I wouldn't go crazy. Mars retrograde. I always tell people, like, I don't like giving messages like this because I do believe we create our own reality. So, I'm a big fan of the law of attraction, obviously. And technically, when you think about it, tarot kind of goes against the law of attraction, but the way I do it's a little bit different. And what I would say here is that I would just be careful. I always say, like, with Mars retrograde, be careful of lifting things above your head, be careful of your back, be careful of working out. Again, don't be paranoid. There's a difference here. We don't want to be paranoid. We just want to be aware. And so I feel like having an awareness of, the things that you're doing, your activity level. If you're feeling tired, sleep, take a rest, like listen to your body is what I feel like that's saying. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Swords here. Kind of interesting. Seven of Swords is about tactics. It's about doing things differently, but it's interesting because it is a card of lying, cheating, stealing, and I do feel that you could have a new person entering into your life. Like I said, fire, earth sign, or probably a mixture of both, sun, whatever. And, what I would say here is I feel like this person might be moving very slow, and you might be taking it as, them being tricky. But I don't think they are. I think they're just slow. So you might have a person who just wants to take their time, but take it how it resonates. I'm going to pull 5 main themes now. So we're going to be looking at 5 themes that could be going on for you at this time. You have this needle and thread. It says, a sincere wish will be granted. Damn. Love it. So we have the Star card here, which could definitely be a wish. So definitely a wish. You have this gavel card. It says involvement with the law. Some of you could be involved in a legal situation. It looks to me like you're kind of, what I would say to you is, consult an expert if you're dealing with something like that. I don't think this is going to be for all of you. For others, I feel like you're kind of getting out of one. You have the Ace of Swords here, which is a victory. And that Ace of Swords, it goes up to the Empress in the world. So I would say that you're ending a legal situation. Next, you have this Fly card. Again, it says a period of ill health and depression. Pay attention to your health. Again, I'm not a doctor, but, I would just do things really intuitively. I feel like this is just saying avoid things that make you not healthy. Do things that make you healthy. It's just that simple. Like all retrogrades, every single retrograde, I say this. It's like, pay attention. Next, you have this Wealth card. So I feel there could be a lot of wealth and abundance coming in for you. Love it. And finally, you have this Parrot card. It says someone will gossip about all your secrets. Mars retrograde in Gemini. I mean, Mars retrograde in Gemini is literally gossip. So, I always say to ignore it during Mars retrograde. That's like the best thing you can do. So we're going to pull, finally, 6 more Oracle cards, and we're just going to do this as like a personalish reading at the end here. You have this new card that says, new chapters require a new version of you. You are definitely undergoing a transformation. Tower to the Star. It's like you are reinventing yourself here, Taurus, and I don't care how old you are. You could be 99 years old, and I still feel you could be undergoing a reinvention. I don't know, I get all these comments from people that are like, I'm 60. I'm like, okay, you have another 30 years at least, So, what I would say here is like, unless Mark Zuckerberg launches the robots on us, then, we probably all have another 30 years at least. So that's a full lifetime. We only used to live to like 30, 40 years old, plain and simple. Next, you have this card that says, life will be a roller coaster. Enjoy the ride and stop trying to control it. We kind of saw this here somewhere. I don't remember what I was saying, but it's like, I was saying something about how there would be like little leaps of success and things kind of even out. So just pay attention to that. You have this card that says, uproot your life and leave all that is familiar to you. Oh, damn. You have the World. Some of you could be traveling, the Tower. You could be experiencing culture shock or, moving, doing something new. I feel there will be a lot of growth there for you. Next, you have this Leadership card. This Leadership card says, you're stepping into a role as a leader. There you go. I feel like you could be becoming a leader. And with that Poise card, again, and especially with all this energy that's going to be entering into an Aquarius, I believe that we all could be taking the lead in some area of our life, but it's not like we're becoming a leader through educating people. We're becoming a leader through just being a living example. So whatever you're doing, it's like if you're creating an example for other people, then you're being a leader. Next, you have this Comfort card. It says your income is steady and living comfortably. Love it. Definitely an improvement in your finances here. And finally, you have this Charity card. It says donate to creative, positive energy around you. So I feel, this could obviously, I always encourage people to, I think donating money and stuff like that is great because it gets the money rolling, it gets things flowing. But again, if you don't have money, I totally understand that. And I always say, like, if you don't have money, obviously don't donate any money, but there are things you can do. I think that doing YouTube, like maybe you have some information you can share. It could just be one little thing. It could be a nice thing that you say to a person or people in your life. It could be a compliment that you give someone. That is charity. That is a form of getting the energy flowing. Again, when I was super stuck in my life, those are some of the things that I did just to get the energy moving forward. And I truly believe, it's like, trust me, it's like there was a time where when I wasn't doing tarot, my life was worse. When I am doing tarot and I'm just giving of myself, my life gets like significantly better. So, again, it doesn't really cost me, it does now cost me money to run everything, but it pretty much didn't cost me money to start doing tarot, to just start doing something nice for other people, right? And that's what I would do here, because I feel like if you can just get that energy rolling, then you're going in the right direction. That's all you should be thinking about. But this is one heck of reading, very powerful. So love it. Thank you for being here, Taurus. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.